The wind howled through the ruined castle, rattling ancient iron gates. A storm churned above, tearing open the heavens with forks of white light. Stone walls groaned, trembling beneath unseen pressure. A hidden door creaked open, dust spilling into the air like ash. Prince Alaric said, "Whose voice calls me in the dark?" His chest tightened as whispers echoed in his ears, words twisted and forbidden. The cursed hero staggered, clutching his temples as a ghostly shadow unfurled from the walls. The Witch King's curse seeped into the chamber, making torches sputter with green flame. The bell of doom tolled in the distance, and the kingdom's fate shivered with its last breath. The chamber shuddered as if alive, and Prince Alaric stumbled forward, clutching the edge of the cracked stone table. His heart raced, the whispers urging him deeper into the cursed halls. He muttered, "What do you want from me?" The torches dimmed, shadows pressing closer, twisting into skeletal fingers reaching for his skin. The air reeked of mold and ash, every breath a struggle. The curse seemed to weigh upon his chest, pulling him toward the unseen force. Beyond the walls, thunder roared, the storm a herald of darker truths. The Witch King's presence was near, invisible yet suffocating. Lightning seared the skies above the castle roof, casting blinding light into the shattered chamber. Prince Alaric lifted his head, sweat streaking his pale face. He whispered, "This curse will break me before I even fight." The walls groaned as thunder shook the earth. Behind him, a low growl reverberated, not human, not beast, something between both. He turned sharply, sword trembling in his grasp. The chamber floor split slightly, green light bleeding through the cracks, glowing like veins of poison. The storm outside grew frantic, matching the pounding of his heart. The whispers grew louder, rising like a chorus of the damned. Prince Alaric pressed his palm against the crack, heat searing his skin. He shouted, "Show yourself!" A blast of green light surged upward, pushing him back. The shadowy form of a skeletal knight emerged, armor fused with bone, eyes glowing like emerald fire. The cursed hero staggered, sword raised though his grip shook with doubt. The chamber seemed to shrink, pressing him closer to his foe. Every torch flared brighter, shadows dancing wildly as the Witch King's echo thundered through the walls, promising despair. The apparition advanced, its armor clattering though its form was mist and bone. Prince Alaric's breath came shallow, his sword trembling. He muttered, "If this is the beginning, how will I endure the end?" The knight raised its spectral blade, green fire dripping from the edge like liquid light. Alaric braced himself, feet sliding across the slick stone floor. The bell tolled again, echoing through the ruins, louder, crueler, shaking the castle's foundations. The cursed hero knew the Witch King was testing him, dragging him into despair before the true battle had even begun. The storm faded into a mournful drizzle, and Prince Alaric trudged through the cracked halls, sword heavy in his hand. His chest heaved, the whispers quieter now, but never gone. He muttered, "This curse follows like a shadow." The ruined corridors twisted into a stairway, spiraling toward the library where dust smothered forgotten wisdom. There, a hooded figure waited, staff resting against their palm. The mentor lifted their gaze, voice calm. "The storm is not your enemy, Alaric. It is your herald." His doubts deepened, heart pounding as he realized destiny would not wait. Books lay scattered, their pages soaked with damp as Alaric approached warily. The mentor's eyes glowed with faint silver light, his presence steady amid ruin. Alaric demanded, "Why do you watch me like prey?" The old man sighed, "I have waited for the cursed heir, the one burdened with chains no sword can break." Alaric's breath caught, his curse suddenly heavier on his chest. Shadows along the walls writhed like listening spirits. He clenched his fists, torn between rage and fear, as the mentor pointed toward the shelves, where ancient tomes whispered in silence. The library trembled as thunder rolled overhead, and a book slid from a shelf, bursting open with green fire. The mentor did not flinch, whispering, "This is your burden made manifest." Alaric staggered back, voice raw. The curse eats at me until nothing remains. The whispers returned, louder, urging him toward the flames. His shadow lengthened unnaturally, stretching into claws across the floor. The mentor tapped his staff against the stone, and the fire dimmed to embers. The Witch King feeds on your fear. Break fear, and you break his hold. Alaric's jaw tightened, torn between fight and surrender. Alaric dropped to his knees, clutching the cursed mark on his forearm as pain seared through his veins. He gasped, "I cannot fight this alone." The mentor's voice softened, "No hero ever could." From the shadows, a young woman stepped forward, her eyes sharp as steel. The love interest bowed her head slightly, her voice firm. "The kingdom bleeds, and I bleed with it. I will stand beside you." Alaric's breath caught as their gazes locked, torn between gratitude and fear. The air thickened with both tension and unspoken promise, as the curse coiled tighter around him. The air quivered as silence fell, the storm above momentarily stilled. Alaric struggled to stand, sword in hand, his voice cracking. "If you stand with me, you risk the curse too." The young woman's reply was sharp, "Then let it fall on both of us." The mentor sighed, his eyes weary. Love is the sharpest weapon and the deepest wound. Shadows stirred at the edges of the room, forming vague, skeletal figures. Alaric's pulse raced, his curse gnawing at his strength. Yet for the first time, he was not alone. Destiny had bound them all. The ruined library gave way to open corridors leading into a courtyard drowned in shadow. Prince Alaric gripped his sword, the cursed mark throbbing. The mentor whispered, "The darkness grows restless." The love interest stepped close, her eyes scanning the mist. "We are watched," she murmured. From the fog the loyal companion appeared breathless. "I followed your trail, my prince. The Witch King's forces stir." Alaric's chest tightened with both relief and dread. Their fragile unity was tested by the looming sense of unseen danger. The curse seemed to hunger, feeding on the gathering fear. Shadows stretched unnaturally across the stones, twisting into clawed shapes. The loyal companion swallowed hard, voice cracking. "This place feels alive." The mentor frowned, "Not alive, cursed." Alaric's pulse thundered as the cursed mark burned hotter. The love interest drew her blade, sparks of defiance in her eyes. "Then, let us cut through the dark." A faint laugh echoed, sly and mocking. A figure stepped from the mist, the villainous ally, cloaked, eyes gleaming with false warmth. "I come as friend," he declared, though unease rippled through the air like poison disguised as wine. Alaric stiffened, his sword still raised, though his heart longed for allies. "Why follow us?" he demanded. The villainous owl's smile widened. "Because I know the Witch King's secrets." His voice dripped with persuasion. The mentor's eyes narrowed, his silence a warning. The love interest whispered, "He is too eager." Yet fear gnawed at Alaric's resolve. He wondered if this stranger's knowledge was their only hope. The loyal companion shifted uneasily, muttering, "Trust feels like walking on glass." The mist thickened, cloaking their faces in shadow, as the Witch King's presence pressed closer. The courtyard shivered as unseen forces stirred. The villainous ally spread his arms, voice rising. "The Witch King tests you even now. Shadows serve his will." As if summoned, skeletal soldiers clawed from the ground, their hollow eyes glowing. The loyal companion shouted, "We're surrounded." Alaric's curse flared, veins burning, but he raised his sword with trembling defiance. The love interest stepped in front of him, determination cutting through fear. The mentor lifted his staff, ancient runes flaring bright. The first battle line of darkness advanced, and the air itself seemed to groan under its weight. The clash began with steel against bone, the courtyard echoing with screams and sparks. Prince Alaric struck desperately, the curse blazing, each swing draining him further. The loyal companion darted in to shield his side, crying, "Stand firm, my prince." The love interest's blade carved a bright arc, her fury unrelenting. The mentor unleashed a wave of silver light, scattering shadows. Yet the villainous ally stood untouched, watching with a sly grin. Alaric felt dread coil in his chest, realizing this ally's truth was veiled in deception, as deadly as the Witch King's curse itself. The courtyard battle ended in silence, bones scattered like brittle leaves. Prince Alaric wiped blood and ash from his face, his sword trembling in his grip. The love interest touched his shoulder, whispering, "You stood against death itself." The mentor leaned on his staff, voice heavy, but this was not the Witch King's true power. The loyal companion gasped, "Then what chance do we have?" The villainous ally smirked, stepping closer. "Perhaps more than you realize if you trust me." Alaric's curse flared hot, warning of deceit. Destiny twisted in the air like a blade waiting to strike. No. They followed the villainous ally into the castle's inner chambers, walls etched with runes that pulsed faintly. The mentor frowned, whispering, "These are wards of betrayal." Alaric's skin crawled as the cursed mark glowed brighter. The love interest's hand stayed near her sword, mistrust carved into her features. The villainous ally gestured toward the runes, his voice smooth. "Only those marked by the curse can pass." "You are our chosen, Alaric." The loyal companion's eyes widened. Then this path was meant for him. Alaric's heart pounded with dread, realizing each step brought him closer to a truth he feared. The chamber opened into a crypt, air thick with dust and sorrow. Tombs lined the walls, their names lost to time. The mentor whispered, "This is where kings once lay, until the curse defiled them." Alaric's chest tightened as voices rose from the tombs, chanting in unison. The love interest whispered, "They call for you." The loyal companion trembled, whispering, "This feels like walking on graves." The villainous ally smiled faintly, because it is. Suddenly, one tomb split open, revealing a skeletal king with emerald fire in his chest. Alaric's curse seared in response, binding him to the dead. The skeletal king's voice boomed, though its jaw did not move. "Blood of the cursed, you are mine." Alaric staggered back, clutching his chest as the green fire linked to his veins. The mentor cried, "Resist him," but the chains of fate coiled tighter. The love interest seized Alaric's arm, shouting, "Fight, Alaric! You are not his." The loyal companion swung his small blade in desperation, striking uselessly against the spectral chains. The villainous ally stepped forward, eyes gleaming. "He cannot fight it, but I can guide him." His voice was drenched in lies, but it pierced Alaric's doubt. Alaric's vision blurred as the chains dragged him toward the skeletal king. His breath caught, despair consuming him. "I cannot fight this," he whispered. The love interest cried, "You are stronger than you believe." The mentor slammed his staff down, runes flaring, but cracks split the crypt. The loyal companion grabbed Alaric's hand, yelling, "I will not let you fall." Yet it was the villainous ally who stepped closest, his hand raised like a savior. "Yield to me, and I will break the chains." His voice dripped with false salvation. Alaric's heart trembled with the weight of choice. The crypt's chains shattered with a violent burst of silver light, and the group stumbled into the open night. Prince Alaric gasped, clutching his arm as the cursed mark pulsed in agony. The mentor's face was grave, his voice low. "The bond grows stronger. You cannot resist it forever." The love interest steadied Alaric, her touch fierce and protective. "Then, we will face it together." The loyal companion wiped sweat from his brow, muttering, "The kingdom needs more than hope." The villainous ally lingered at the edge, watching with calculating eyes. Storm clouds gathered, promising war. Rain began to fall, soaking stone and steel alike. The mentor drew a circle of chalk on the ground, ancient runes glowing faint blue. "This is where you must begin training," he said. Prince Alaric stared at the symbols, doubt gnawing at him. "Training will not undo a curse." The love interest placed her sword tip into the ground, her voice fierce. "Then we will forge strength from it." The loyal companion crouched near, wide-eyed, whispering, "This feels dangerous." The villainous ally smirked, "Danger is where power thrives." The storm's rhythm beat like war drums above them. The training began with fury. The mentor's staff struck the circle, runes flaring. Energy surged through Alaric, lifting him from the ground. His scream echoed, half pain, half defiant. The love interest shouted, "Fight it!" Her voice was a lifeline in the storm. The loyal companion shielded his eyes from the blinding light, crying, "Hell, tear apart!" The villainous ally stepped closer, murmuring like a serpent, "Let it consume you, only then will you control it." Alaric's veins glowed green as he wrestled with the curse, thunder crashing in rhythm with his heartbeat. Alaric fell to his knees as the energy ebbed, steam rising from his skin. He panted, his sword clattering to the stones. "I cannot win this war inside me," he whispered. The mentor's eyes softened with rare sorrow. "Every war is fought within first." The love interest knelt beside him, pressing her forehead briefly against his. "You are not alone." The loyal companion placed a shaky hand on his shoulder. "We believe in you even when you don't." Behind them, the villainous ally smiled faintly, his shadow stretching unnaturally. The storm thundered louder, a herald of coming battles. The rain slowed to a heavy drizzle, and the mentor turned toward the horizon. Black clouds churned above the mountains, streaked with unnatural lightning. "The Witch King gathers his army," he said gravely. Alaric rose unsteadily, gripping his sword once more. "Then we march to meet him." The love interest's gaze burned with determination. "Our fight is his undoing." The loyal companion swallowed fear, whispering, "I will not leave your side." The villainous ally's smirk widened, his cloak swirling like smoke. "And I will lead you to his very heart." Trust cracked, but fate pulled them forward. The group climbed the mountain path, storm clouds swirling like a crown of fury above the Witch King's fortress. Lightning ripped the sky, casting the black spires in ghastly light. Prince Alaric staggered, the cursed mark searing his veins. The mentor warned, "His power calls to you. Resist it, or you will be undone." The love interest stepped closer, her hand brushing Alaric's arm. "We will hold you up when you falter." The loyal companion raised his small shield, fear clear in his voice. "Then, let us face him together." Behind them, the villainous ally's smile glinted in the storm. At the fortress gates, a horde of skeletal soldiers emerged, their armor clattering like drums of war. The Witch King's voice thundered from unseen heights, "Cursed heir, come claim your doom." Alaric gritted his teeth, lifting his sword despite the agony coursing through him. The mentor raised his staff, runes blazing, shouting, "We fight for the living." The love interest charged, blade gleaming with rain. The loyal companion cried out as he shielded Alaric from an arrow. The villainous ally raised his hands, summoning shadow, his allegiance shrouded. The battle for destiny began beneath the storm. The clash raged like thunder given form. Steel clashed with bone, sparks flying in the stormlight. Prince Alaric's curse blazed, his strikes cutting through enemies but draining his strength. The love interest fought at his side, shouting, "Stay with me." The loyal companion stumbled, nearly dragged down before Alaric pulled him free. The mentor unleashed silver waves, blasting through lines of undead. The villainous ally whispered incantations, his magic a mix of shadow and fire. Alaric's chest heaved, fear gnawing at him that each strike brought him closer to surrendering to the curse entirely. The fortress gates cracked open, and the Witch King emerged, towering, cloaked in shadows. His skeletal crown gleamed, eyes burning green fire. "At last, my heir," he boomed. Alaric froze, the curse pulling toward him like a chain. The mentor shouted, "Break his hold or he will own you." The love interest cried, "Alaric, fight him." The loyal companion trembled, whispering, "He looks unstoppable." The villainous ally stepped forward, bowing slightly. "My king, I bring you the cursed one." Betrayal tore through Alaric's chest as the storm seemed to fall silent, in dreadful recognition of treachery. The Witch King lifted his skeletal hand, chains of green fire coiling through the air toward Alaric. "Your soul is mine," he declared. Alaric fell to his knees, screaming as the curse blazed like molten iron. The love interest rushed forward, slashing at the chains, sparks flying. The mentor pressed his staff into the earth, runes igniting in defiance. The loyal companion dove to block an attack, crying, "You will not take him." The villainous ally laughed, shadows swirling at his side. Alaric's vision blurred as the storm howled, and destiny hung by a single thread of will. Chains of fire dragged Prince Alaric closer to the Witch King, his body convulsing as the curse consumed him. The mentor shouted, "Do not surrender." His voice was breaking. The love interest leapt between Alaric and the Witch King, blade sparking as she struck at the chains. "He is not yours," she cried. The loyal companion rammed his shield into the ground, trying to anchor Alaric's trembling form. The villainous ally smirked, whispering, "Yield, Alaric, and you will be free of pain." Alaric's scream echoed through the storm as destiny pulled him to breaking point. The Witch King raised his skeletal blade, emerald fire dripping from its edge. "You were born of my curse," he thundered. Alaric's breath rattled, tears streaking his rain-soaked face. "If I am yours, then I will end you." His voice shook with defiance. The mentor thrust his staff down, runes blazing. "Take your stand now, Heir." The love interest clasped Alaric's hand, whispering, "Fight for us." The loyal companion screamed, "We believe in you." Shadows roared. The storm howled, and Alaric lifted his sword with trembling resolve, as lightning split the heavens in two. The battle erupted in its final fury. Alaric charged, his sword blazing with both curse and will. Sparks of green and silver clashed as steel met the Witch King's burning blade. The love interest fought at his side, cutting through the shadows that tried to bind him. The loyal companion shielded their backs, shouting with raw defiance. The mentor chanted ancient words, summoning walls of light that split the storm. The villainous ally finally revealed his betrayal, summoning a spear of shadow against the group. Alaric roared, "No more lies." His strike split the battlefield in light and shadow. The Witch King staggered, a crack splitting his crown. His voice roared, "You cannot sever me, for I am your blood." Alaric faltered, heart torn. The love interest screamed, "He is not your truth." The mentor's eyes blazed, shouting, "End him, or the curse will never break." The loyal companion threw himself against shadow creatures, crying, "Finish this!" The villainous ally lunged at Alaric, shadow spear raised to strike his back. In a final surge, Alaric turned, blade cleaving through both betrayal and curse. The fortress shook, emerald fire splitting the night sky. The Witch King collapsed, his crown shattering, emerald fire vanishing into the storm. Alaric dropped to his knees, sword slipping from his grasp, the curse mark fading into scars. The love interest rushed to his side, tears streaming as she whispered, "You did it." The mentor placed a weary hand on Alaric's shoulder. "The kingdom is free, though at great cost." The loyal companion sobbed with relief, collapsing beside him. Around them, the fortress crumbled, stones crashing into the abyss. Alaric lifted his gaze to the sky, whispering, "The curse is broken, but will peace remain?"